This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie! Sorry for yelling. What's on your mind?
Hey, man. I hope you had a great holiday.
I did.
I hope you had a great holiday. We had a nice, quiet Christmas, drama-free, on a drama-free diet.
My favorite kind of diet, by the way. My favorite kind.
My only diet. But yeah, had a mellow Merry Christmas. Had a good time. Just recapping now. It's a Sunday after Christmas. Still in the mood. Still cheery mood. Just still listen to a couple Christmas tunes here and there, and just thinking back to years of Christmas past, and feeling good, feeling all right. I hope the family had a good Christmas.
Yeah, we had a nice one, man. I appreciate you asking. I'm glad to hear you guys had a good one too. It was nice, man. I didn't get to, like, my shoot job is weird because I have to, like, they gave us half days, like Christmas Eve and then the day after. And because I used all my PTO time, which, welcome to corporate America, because everybody gets, like, all my children are sick every 20 minutes. I couldn't take the week off, what I usually do. I usually take, like, the end of the season off, right? And so I had to go to work on Christmas Eve, which was fine. I was done at 1:00, but then I had to go in at 1:00 the following day. So I feel like my week is all, like, janky, like everything's been all, like, fucking weird. And so I'm off this week. Or I should say I took the rest of this week off. It's after Tuesday. But Courtney and I were talking. Mrs. Goober and I were talking. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, today, after we're done recording with Meanie, we're going to make it Christmas. Like, I'm going to go out and get some stuff at the store. Maybe some, like, hot chocolate or s'mores or some shit. We're going to watch movies. We're going to do, like, a big Christmas redo kind of thing, And so we're looking forward to that. We're excited about that. But yeah, it was, like I said, it was good. My brother came over, my brother-in-law came over. It was a nice drama-free holiday extravaganza, which was great. So hope you all had a wonderful holiday as well. Excuse me. Obviously, the holiday seasons is not over yet. We still have one more ahead of us until we get into 2025. But Meanie, before we jump right into the program today,
yes.
It's our last episode of 2024. Can you believe that shit?
That pause had me nervous there.
It might have been the computer freezing, man.
Yeah,
might have been the computer.
Last show, I went, is it? And you're like, I was like, I didn't get no fucking memo.
I missed the fucking meeting. Yeah.
Hey. Well, it wouldn't be the last time I was the last to find out about something.
Bro, tell me about it. Yeah.
Story of my life,
Oh, man.
My gravestone will say, why didn't anybody tell me?
He was just here.
George Carlin, he was just here a minute ago.
Yeah.
Well, then I just saw him yesterday. Yeah. Didn't help. In fact, you might be wanted for murder.
How can you live with yourself?
Yeah.
Oh man. No, it's been another banner year here for us at Mind of the Meanie and Butts Carlton Media. We want to thank you for joining us throughout this entire year and making us part of your Monday morning or whenever you listen to us during the week, because this is a show you can listen to during the week anytime you'd like to. So go ahead and hit subscribe wherever you're listening. Leave us a 5-star review, and go ahead at the top of the show. Make sure I mention it here too. Make sure you subscribe here to our friends at One True Sport. They're taking care of us. They're wonderful people. We love being a part of this network. We love being a part of this group of people. So go ahead and hit subscribe and like the video as well, because that only boosts us up in the views. So
yeah,
Meanie, man, 2024. As we're recording this, we still have about 2 days left in the year. What are your thoughts, man? Looking back on the year, what are your thoughts on 2024?
I try to reflect on every year, and I just end up going, man, where did it go?
Yeah.
It just, I'll try to figure out what age, at what point in your life does life just start speeding up?
Yeah.
You know, seems like it was yesterday. It was like, 80 degrees in August, and now it's, you know, whatever it is outside, and we're just about to go into January. It's
Yeah.
so crazy
Yeah.
how crazy time passes. But 2024 was a good year. Hopefully 2025's good or better. You know, you know, just I mean, the only thing, the only thing that was bad this year is just, the losses. Losses
Yeah.
of friends who no longer with us.
Mhm.
This last 2 weeks have been kind of rough. I really haven't talked about it, but a good buddy of mine, Chris Campbell, passed away.
Mm.
And if that name sounds familiar, Chris is the brother of Joey Campbell, who wrote the BWO theme for. He was in the Swamp Candles, wrote the BWO theme, and me and Mrs. Meanie were out, and I got a message from Joe. I was like, "Hey, man, can I call you?" It's like, "Hey, you got a moment? I want to talk to you. How's it about something?" I was like, "Hey, I'm running some errands. Can I, get back at you?" It's like he said, "Yeah, I did something I'd rather talk to you over the phone for." And I was like, "Oh well, this can't be good." So I give him a call, and he told me that his brother Chris had passed, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks, bro. Just dude's 47, you know, younger than me. I've known him for like 30 years, and just like a wave hits you. And the most important for me to do at that time was just console Joe and you know check in on him, see how he's doing. Um, he has three beautiful kids too, and which breaks your heart. Um, he I knew more about his kids before I even met him than just because he's always talking about them. And and this yesterday, Saturday, was the memorial service, and funerals suck,
Yeah.
and saying goodbye sucks. But um, yesterday, was incredibly sad, but incredibly beautiful at the same time, as seeing, like, as we say in the wrestling business, he sold the building out. There's like, the room was completely packed.
Mm.
And just to listen to the folks who came up to speak on his behalf. His kids did a wonderful job.
Mm.
His kids are wise beyond their years, and they spoke eloquently and beautifully about their father. And to hear, you know, family and friends tell stories, and then you start, thinking, you're like, yeah, I kind of had like the same experiences with him. Like, I have fond memories of me and Chris. Like, I met Chris, at there's an old rock club in Ben Salem called the Cell Block.
Mm.
And that's where I first saw the Swamp Candles and start seeing them. And Chris came out to see Joey play, and like, he was 16, I was like maybe 19 or something like that, 15, and I was 19, and we had to sit on the barrier where the minors could go. we we couldn't go in the drinking side.
Yep.
So we bonded over our love for the band, and then bonded over the fact that we were the only two people in that side of the building. Just, all right, well, we'll sit over here like a couple dorks, just no. But Chris, incredibly funny, passionate guy. And when I wasn't talking to Joe, I was talking to Chris, and I'm hang out, go down to the house. like, a lot of, things, we all talked about was like Chris, turning us on to like cool music,
Mm-hmm.
he lived in Northeast Philly, and we would go to this place called the Record Castle. I don't think it's there anymore. But then we go to South Street, and we go to all the record shops, and buy bootleg CDs, and I still have CDs in my collection I've kept. Which
Yeah.
they're available free online now, but I still have the physical media just because I remember, going to South Street that day with Chris and just hanging out and being chill. But Chris and his brother Joe were two of my biggest supporters. Before I was a professional wrestler, they knew Brian.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved away to Al's to train, and back then, before cell phones and the internet, I mean, the internet was just coming around. We still we still wrote down things on paper and put them in an envelope and put a stamp on them and drop them in the mailbox, and we would correspond back and forth. And they were like two of my biggest supporters. Yeah, I'm going to be a professional wrestler. Yeah, fuck yeah, you are. This kind of thing. And it was cool to see. Chris. It was cool that Joe got to do the BWO theme.
Yeah.
But it was cool that Chris came to watch me wrestle as well. I think Joe came to watch me wrestle as well. But Chris was way into the wrestling. And as he was into a lot of things passionately about. Yesterday was a tough one. Yeah. But I couldn't not do this episode. I was thinking about saying something next week. I was like, you know what? Let me take a week. Because I'm still processing it, losing a friend like that. It's there's a reason why the Rolling Stones sang, what a drag it is getting older, I'm 51, and I've lost an amount between, losing friends who are in the wrestling business in my personal life. I've lost more friends than most people do at the age of 70 or 80, just, it's crazy. It never gets easier. But all I can do now is continue to carry the torch, like I do with my mom and my grandmom, keep their flame alive, and, share memories, and, talk about them, and, help out any way I can, keep in touch with Joe. Joe legit is like one of my longest best friends, and just to see him, yesterday, see what, you always hear that thing, when somebody loses a loved one, we were meant to grow old together. Mm-hmm. And that just hits. And I feel for Joe. The funny thing is, me, Joe, and Chris have been friends for forever. And at one point, we became cousins. My uncle Ron married their mom, and we're like, how? It's like I didn't know our families knew each other like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, how? And then it's like, I guess we're cousins now. And it's that's how unique our friendship was. And music brought us together, and I got to go do the wrestling thing, and they were as supportive of me as I was of them, because I loved the Swamp Candles, and loved Joe and Chris, and I'm not going to say goodbye. I'll just say see you later, Chris. I love you, man. It's just tough.
I'm never really sure what to say, in moments like this because nothing ever feels, nothing ever feels appropriate or feels like enough. I'm one of those kinds of people who like I labor over saying something, and then when I say it, I'm like, fuck, I didn't say it right.
Right.
And I know that this one has been tough for you, and
Yeah.
we're thinking about you, and we're our condolences and our love and to you and Tracy and everybody, everybody who knew him, his family, Joe, everybody. We just, it sucks, man. There's nothing you can say that takes away that sting, that
Yeah.
pain that you feel about it, and it's hard.
Yeah.
So I want to just say thank you for sharing all that
I
and sharing it
appreciate
with us,
it,
and
man.
you know, um, went through something similar to that this past week.
Oh,
Somebody that I knew almost 30 years died
yeah. Same here.
suddenly,
Yeah. So, yeah.
and it's just like,
I'm so sorry, bro.
no, man, it's this was somebody. Her name was Lindsay. Wonderful person. Met her when I think I was in middle school. I want to like I can't even remember. It's been that long. And she died suddenly, and you get that news, and you're just like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, that doesn't make
Right.
sense. I just spoke to her, or, like, and I know we were just kind of teasing about that, but it's like, it's true.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh my God, I just literally, like, I think maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what do you mean? And, you like me, I'm the kind of person that's just like, you always think somebody's going to be there. You always think you have extra time. And, it's like every time you like, it just hits you right in the face. And, it sucks. She's got two little kids. Her kids are younger than mine. I think her youngest daughter is younger than Audrey, the baby.
Oh, wow.
And sad. Just sucks, because you're like, you just I don't know. But thank you for sharing that and telling us about him and
Yeah.
I sorry.
Oh,
Sorry
man.
for
No,
doing that. Yeah.
no, nothing to apologize for. The most important thing that we could do as friends is still support them in the afterlife like we did when they were alive, and
Absolutely.
carry on their name, celebrate their name. I'll say, his Chris's memorial service yesterday. I mean, there were more laughs than anything,
Oh, wow.
and just talking about, yeah. And then he turned me into, Chris turned me onto the band Tool. Lots of Tool. Way too much Tool. It is, yeah. Chris absolutely loved the band Tool. He loved all music.
Yeah.
Like, he could listen to anything from Tool to Slayer to Fiona Apple.
Wow.
And that's what drew you to it. He
Yeah.
had a full life. He picked from every basket of life. And you hear, there's a great story about how he went off to college, and his friend went to visit him at college, and he had just formed this union of friends from different genres. There's long hairs there's guys, into hip hop over here, and they're all,
Yeah.
rotate like look, Planet Chris, and everybody's rotating around it because Chris just attracted people to him. So yeah, and you guys would have hit it off great too.
Oh man. Sounds like we loved him.
I'm pretty sure he listened to the podcast.
Oh, wow.
I got a lot of people who listen, and they'll randomly go, "Oh, I listened this week." I'm like, "Oh, you've been listening? Oh, cool."
Every week I get that. Oh man, I love the show. Like, I didn't even know you listened.
Yeah.
Thanks. So no, he sounds like
man.
sounds like a great guy, man. Sounds like was somebody who really would have enjoyed
Oh,
talking to. So
and the last time I saw him in person, we're at McCuskers, and he texted me. He's like, "Hey man, are you at McCuskers tonight?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." He's like, "Oh, I'm leaving something. I'll come over." And we watched the Phillies were in the playoffs, and it was when they eliminated the St. Louis Cardinals. And we got to have that moment together. Like, when the final out happened, we just turned around and gave each other the biggest fucking bear hug and celebrated. And if I knew it was going to be the last time, I would have hugged him a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But great memories, great guy. I love him. I love his family. and technically he's family. So, it's just crazy how life works.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for sharing that with us today. I don't know how to.
Thank you for sharing,
dude. Yeah, no, I in the show notes too. I just as a side note for Lindsay, her family set up it's like a GoFundMe. It's called Ever Loved, and they've raised a significant amount of money for her, which is great. I think it's close to $50,000 right now.
Oh,
They
wow.
raised it for her kids
Good.
and her husband, Greg. So I'll share that in the show notes if you'd like to donate. Anybody
Absolutely.
listening, if you can, thank you. If you can't, please just share the link if you can. That way, her family can, try to be helped in this time when it feels helpless. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back, and just as a programming note today too, the show is gonna be a little bit shorter, just because I have some obligations this weekend that kind of made us not able to record yesterday, and shorter today. But I want to go through and just kind of shout out some of the people in the chat here. We want to thank you guys for being here.
We got a lively chat there.
We got Maddie Jazz Cabbage, our friend here. Hope you guys had a great Christmas. We did. Thank you very much. Mass Sanity is here. Meanie Goober, what up, dude? We appreciate you.
Brother?
The boss. I need a Rick Ross sound where he says boss when the boss is here.
Yes, sir.
Meanie, go Birds. Thank you very much.
I got my shirt that says Dallas. We hate you.
We got Eddie Prather here. Merry belated Christmas, Adam and Meanie. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you.
Merry Christmas.
We got a bunch of people in here. The boss says condolences, sir.
Thank you.
Christine A. Thank you for joining us here. Mass Sanity, very
thank you.
Well said. We appreciate you. Nails in New York. Good morning. Good morning to you. We appreciate you.
Welcome to the chat.
Kit Kat says, Merry Christmas and New Year to Meanie and the host guy. Sorry, I don't know your name. I don't know my name either. If you prefer, you may call me Hans Butterfield. As long as you don't call me Dickhead, that's fine. Thank you for joining us here. We got a lot of great questions.
I have a friend, Mark, that we specifically call Dickhead. You don't say, hey, Mark. We go, hey, Dickhead, come over here. And he wears it like a badge of honor,
Nails in New York says, I'm here via Mass Sanity RJ City. Well, thank you for joining us.
She's from the I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step all over.
No, you're fine, dude. You're fine.
She's from the RJ City universe, so we're having a little meeting of the shows,
crossover event.
Yes,
love it. I love it.
Yes.
We appreciate you joining us. We got a lot of great questions today, Meanie, and I know, like I said, I think I'm going to roll right into this here because I know we got lots of vault questions.
Oh yeah, Christine A. In the chat, Christine A. She's also from the RJ.
Oh, nice. Welcome.
Yeah,
welcome to the crossover event of the century.
We appreciate you being here.
We welcome you.
We welcome you. We speak your name. We speak your name.
Yeah.
Do you know Baba Booey is 40 years old? Like the whole thing. He's been working with Stern for 40 years, but yeah. I saw something the other day on it. I was like, oh my God, has it really been that long? Like, I feel like Baba Booey has just been something that's been in my life forever,
Baba Booey just got its first gray hair.
But Meanie, I have a question for you, kind sir.
Yes,
if you have a second. Are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to.
It's time to ask Meanie anything.
Ask me something.
Yo, cause
this is a drizzling shit.
Don't forget to
the Blue Meanie.
Don't forget to tweet us your question.
Man.
I was gonna say, dude, drop it over to me if you can, because I want to put that on my board. Because I know, like I said, if you look a lot of times underneath the show here, if you watch us, you'll see this whenever this decides to show up. There we go. Our super chat tiers rather. So if you submit a certain amount, we'll play a sound for you, and then if you submit over a certain amount, you get a producer credit on the show. But that's our newest sound that we've added to the board that we found is Vincent McMahon, Vance McMahon saying the Blue Meanie. Give it to us. Give it to us one more time.
It's way too long, but
the Blue Meanie.
Yeah, there we go.
So we'll add that to our banner here. But like I said, we got a lot of questions here to start with. I want to actually start with, where is it? Mass Sanity said, Meanie, please discuss some of the WWE Vault stuff from this past week, man. Holy shit, they've been airing. Not only did I think I saw something with Sabu and the Eliminators, but then I also saw, I think it was Taz and Bam Bam Bigelow, the match where they go through the ring, and then they unearthed like 17 minutes of what they thought initially was like lost footage or something from the ECW days. So let's talk about that, because that is super fucking cool.
Yeah. Holy shit. Like I was sitting there and I just scrolling YouTube like I do. I just mindlessly just scroll YouTube. I like to go through that thing where you're clicking, they give the things they think you would like.
Yeah.
And I saw the thing for the 17 minutes of unaired footage. I'm like, holy shit, let me check this out. And I make like 2 cameos in it.
Wow.
One night stand. We did a pre-show autograph session, me, Balls Mahoney, Axel Rotten, and I'm in the background signing, and then like there's the coup de grace at the end of the video, which I'll get to in a second. But yeah, it was so cool to watch that footage. There's some things I was familiar with, some things I had never seen. Like it was cool to see they were showing stuff from like the studio.
Wow.
So everybody makes that mistake of going, oh, because everybody who watched Beyond the Mat thinks that the ECW TV show was done in Paul's parents' basement, which wasn't true. It was done in Ron Buffone's house. Like, it was like, you know how you would have a back patio?
Yeah.
So, like, if you went into Ron Buffone's, it's Ron Buffone's parents' house, but wrong parents, but not in the basement and whatever.
Right.
You walk in, it's typical living room, then the dining room, and then the kitchen, and then there's a back patio where you just walk in, and there's the huge editing bay, and there's the couch where Paul and Tommy and whoever was there would sit to watch, and it was cool to see. They had the footage of Rick Rude trying to tear a phone book because
shit.
Rick, legit tough guy, legit strong man, standing there trying to rip a phone book. But the cool thing was, and this happened in a couple clips, you got to see people who are no longer with us. Like there was Debbie Beaumont, who was Paul's right-hand person. Like if you worked for ECW, at the end of the night, when you went at your check, you went and found Debbie, and she sat there with the checkbook and wrote out what you got, and if you needed a cash advance on your check, which in wrestling we call a draw, you go, oh yeah, can I get a $50 draw? And she peel you off $50, so you can go out and get something to eat or whatever. Every time I think of Debbie Beaumont, I think of Wildfire Tommy Rich, who'd be like in the locker room going, "Where's Debbie? I need my draw. I got babies to feed." Well before Heath Slater, saying I got kids.
Yeah,
we had Tommy Rich in our locker room in the '90s going, "I got babies to feed." Like over WrestleMania weekend, I was at the ECW arena every day, and there's one event I went to. All the ECW guys were there, and we all got together for a photo. And I got my arm around Tommy Rich, and right before they snapped the photo, I went, "Where's Debbie? I need my draw." And Tommy has the biggest smile on his face because he knew I was just busting it, but it brought back great memories.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, the video. I mean, there was like unaired brawls, between Public Enemy and the Pitbulls, where like all the, everybody knows the famous ECW arena incident where everybody threw the chairs in the ring.
Yeah.
So this was a show I want to say in Fort Lauderdale. Those fans try to recreate the chairs flying in the ring, and it's to say how when you hear that thing, you hear that going on. It sounds like a freight train coming through the building.
Sure does.
So there was that. There was an incident where all the fans got in the ring after a Public Enemy match to dance. There was too many people, and the ring collapsed, which I'm sure was an insurance nightmare at the
Oh
time.
God, I can't even imagine.
I was just talking to. I just did a thing with Briscoe and Bradshaw for Sports Kita,
Mm.
and they were asking me ECW question. And I brought that up. I was like, "Well, the biggest nightmare scenario is, imagine somebody's under the ring waiting to do a run in,
And all these, the ring fell apart. Yeah.
yeah." He's like, "You would have killed Hornswoggle, just." But there's just random stuff like New Jack jumping off a balcony. And then there's I forgot about this, but there was a demolition derby, and a guy had ECW painted on his car, and he's going into. I'm assuming it was upstate. It looked like upstate New York, but Paul went there with Ron and Charlie to film it. Ron Buffone and Charlie Brazise were our production guys. Two guys,
Yeah.
who I don't know how they did it. They would get home from a show and edit all day and all night just to make sure the show got to the TV stations by Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see Ron on there. There was a really cool segment with Ron Buffone, where Rick Rude's, goading him into a bet. They got like two, I want to say cantaloupes or whatever. And Rick Rude's like, I bet I could make mine go 5 yards farther than yours, right? He makes him take the $5 bet. So Ron throws the cantaloupe.
Oh man.
And you can't. It's at night and it's so dark you can't see where it landed. So it was Rick Rude's turn. So he goes and he bowls it like a bowling ball. He's like $5 for the guy with the brain. It's just so cool.
That's amazing.
But the video ends, dude. I'm flattered that WWE thought to end the video with me and Stevie Richards, and it was a promo I totally forgot about, because when I saw it, like me and Stevie were sitting on the couch, I'm like, oh no, they're not going to show that promo, are they? Which there was a time where I just got in the ECW. Me and Steve were just doing promos, and we're in a room full. It was like Paul Heyman, Shane Douglas, New Jack, Alex Marvez. Alex Marvez. He was in Ohio at the time, but he was a newspaper sports reporter. He does a lot of NFL stuff. Great guy. And we do this promo, and I just start improvising, like I'm on the floor improvising, like doing goofy shit. And I didn't know my balls had fallen out of my fucking shorts.
Oh no.
So like I'm doing this goofy stuff. I'm like, nobody's reacting. What's going on? So I look around, everybody's red faced laughing. And like New Jack's like this, fucking shaking.
Oh my God.
Paul's like Tommy Dreamer's laughing, fucking Alex is laughing, Shane is like, and I look at Paul, I go, what? He goes, Meanie, your balls are out. When they show me and Steve on the couch, I was like, oh no, they're not going to show my balls on YouTube, are they? So luckily they didn't. So I forget what the promo was.
Let me see if I can pull it up real fast. If you'll indulge me for a moment. Good. Kind. If I may, sir. If you may indulge me for just a minute.
So before you get to that, I see us sitting on the couch. I'm like, oh, fuck. I forget what we were talking about, but it's about trying to find a way to get somewhere. It's like, Meanie, how we don't have a car. How are we going to get there? So I get on all fours. Stevie hops on my back, and I start like clip clopping like a horse, like he's riding me like hi ho Silver. And he falls off. I'm surprised he took a bump. He bumped nice on that floor for me, and we both collapse. And so, and I forgot I had done this, but it's typical me. So like Stevie goes, oh no, Meanie, we'll never get. Maybe we should just take the bus. And I timed the best well-timed fart. And I let out, like as soon as let's take the bus. I just fucking let one rip.
Oh man, dude.
the camera pans around, and in the room is Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer's laughing. Mikey Ripwreck is fucking howling. Cactus Jack is laughing, and Paul Heyman's laughing. There was another guy who I couldn't make out who he was, but that's how the WWE put up to a 17-minute montage, and it ends with me farting.
It's fucking brilliant.
It's the second time I've ended a program on a fart. When Jeremy Borash put out the documentary Forever Hardcore, which was like a sister release to Rise and Fall ECW.
Yeah.
The last thing I do is lean forward and go, you know. It's like, and on that note, did you get it?
I did. Yeah, we're at 17 minutes and 2 seconds in the video. It looks like Paul E is standing at a fence. What you were just mentioning here. And let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so am I. But you know what? We don't have a car. How are we going to get there?
Oh yeah.
Hi-ho, Meanie! Away!
Can you hear it?
Let's take the bus. No, I didn't just hear that.
Could you hear it in your phone?
Oh, yeah. I was just doing this to tell people to listen for the fizz art. You know?
Oh my god, it's amazing, man. I love it so much.
Oh.
I love that they're doing so much of this ECW stuff on the
I didn't know that the Vault was doing ECW week.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I was just going through the thing, and Paul does the intro for ECW week on WWE Vault. Whoever is doing WWE Vault, I would love to buy them a beer. If they partake in the beer, I would love to buy them a beer. Yeah,
dude. This whole, I'm just pulling it up right here, and the Mass Sanity says too. Well, that's what it was. It was the Eliminators versus Sabu and Mikey Whipwreck.
Yeah.
And so then they had Gunther presenting Masato Tanaka and Mike Awesome's match. They had the Dudley Boys reliving some of their best moments. Tajiri versus Super Crazy in a Mexican death match.
Yeah.
Steiners and Eddie Guerrero versus Cactus Jack, Dean Malenko, and who's the other name here? Scorpio. Holy shit. Murderer's Row right there.
They put out a video collection called People You Didn't Know Was in ECW.
Oh, shit.
And I was just talking about this with Briscoe and Bradshaw. And there's Sports Kita's got this show they do called What Were They Thinking They Brought Me On? They want to talk about ECW. But I talked about the time Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton came to ECW.
Whoa.
So Terry Funk and Arn Anderson tagged against Bobby Eaton and Sabu.
Whoa.
Yeah, so like the ECW fans got to see a lot of cool shit.
Whoa.
Like the month before, there's like this big brawl, and like there's like two masked guys came in and they're fighting, and the mask got ripped off, and it was Bobby Eaton, Arn Anderson. The crowd lost their goddamn minds. Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Then they came back the following month to do a tag match, and that was part of a settlement on a lawsuit because ECW had an event called When Worlds Collide, and then AAA/WCW had a pay-per-view called When Worlds Collide. So Paul was going to sue, and he said, "What's suing? Just send us some talent." And he sent Arn and Bobby over to ECW for a couple shows, which was awesome.
That's amazing. Arn Anderson and ECW and Bobby Eaton. That's crazy.
And then before Pillman was the loose cannon.
Yeah.
He came over as like the had a came over as like half of the Hollywood. He was still doing the Hollywood
Blondes. Yeah.
He came in. But the stuff they've been putting up has been really good. Really good.
What I want to see, the last thing on this, I want to see before, I guess maybe before or at some point coming up soon. Excuse me. I'd love to see them run back the footage of Jerry Lawler when he shows up at ECW, and then Jim Cornette shows up. Like you can find that, like you can find it on YouTube and like the kind of what do they call it? Not pirated, but you don't talk about it. Like you can find it on YouTube, but yes. I'd love to see the actual like video footage of that moment, because
That building shook, man.
I can't even imagine. Like, I know Lawler coming out was probably a huge fucking pop, but the lights going down and Cornette showing up, like that was. I know we talked about it before here, but like, holy shit!
Well, that was the culmination of 2
God.
months because
Yeah,
the 1 month it was just Lawler. The next month it was Lawler, and then Cornette, and nobody expected Jim Cornette to be there.
that
And when
was
I watched Jim come in through the back, I was like, "Holy shit!"
right. Like, what are your thoughts going on? Like, like I said, I know we've kind of touched on it before, but like,
Yeah.
you see Cornette come through the back entrance. What then?
Oh, dude. Well, you knew Paul and Jimmy had heat. So when Cornette came out, I was like, "What the fuck is this about?" And then they did the deal. He came in right before they were going to the ring, and right before the segment. They sat on the card like the majority of the show. He came in. I said, "Oh, what's up, Jim?" And I shook his hand, and before you know it, it was his time to go out to the ring.
Wow.
And I was like, "Holy shit!" Just it was amazing, and the crowd just went bananas, it went insane.
Now, obviously, I don't want you to, talk about how the sausage is made or anything like that, because we're going to keep a little kayfabe here.
Oh
But
yeah,
I'm sorry, excuse me. Was he under the ring, or did it just that they shut the lights off and then they
shut
ran
the
him out?
lights off. He shut the lights off, and he barreled towards the. He ran down the aisle, slid in the ring, and waited for the lights to come back on.
Crazy, absolutely insane, man. If
Which
you never,
which back then might have been harder to do because you had to time it.
Yeah.
There's, there's no way to. We weren't as high tech as WWE.
but still, I mean, if you think about it, like that's the fact that you guys pulled that off without a hitch, right?
Yeah.
Like nothing went wrong, like everything was perfectly done and timed. And the fact that the place, like if you've never watched it, like go out of your way to check it out on WWE's, like you can find it on YouTube or you can go back and find the actual show where he shows up. But man, that I remember watching that live and the pop is just fucking crazy, man. One of the loudest I think I've ever heard from an ECW crowd. So
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing a lot of the, like I said, if you're not following WWE Vault, go ahead and check it out. It's on YouTube. They have a ton of great stuff on there. They have the 50 most unforgettable moments of ECW. They talk about the match with Sabu and Taz that I think it was Barely Legal. Is that the one?
Yeah.
And
that's like a repackaged version. Like back in the day, they were have these top 50 OMG moments.
yeah.
They had top 50 WWE OMG moments, WCW OMG moments, and they came out on DVD. But ECW's, I guess, went straight to YouTube.
Yeah.
Or to the network. But what they put out with the top 50 moments of ECW was just a repackaged version of the OMG special they did. But
Yeah.
I think a little bit more condensed, which I was joking, with somebody. I was like, they had the top 50 most crazy moments in ECW. I think I'm involved in at least 10 of them. In some way, some way, shape, or form. I'm ringside for some of them.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it, man.
It's crazy.
We'll go with our last question today here. The boss wants to know, who is your all-time favorite Philadelphia Eagle, and what's your favorite win over Dallas?
Ooh.
Thank you for the question too.
Oh, great question. Thank you, boss. Or as Andre would say, thank you, boss. Hey, boss, come look what I did.
Hey, boss.
Andre shit on the bed and go, hey, boss, look what I did.
God.
Andre was shit in the tub. Hey, boss, come look what I did in the tub.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. But
Jesus.
favorite Eagle? It's either I'm always rocking my fucking Jerome Brown jersey, but I'd have to say Reggie White. He was my first Eagles jersey. Him and Jerome Brown were like a tag team. They were like the Road Warriors of football. Phil Simms used to talk about how he feared going to Philadelphia and playing, the Eagles. Like he would get a knot in his stomach, knowing that they were on the other side of the line. And favorite win over Dallas would have to be 2008, the 44-6 game, because the Eagles needed to beat Dallas, but they needed all these other teams to win in order to get in the playoffs.
Mm.
And as before the Eagles game happens, you're watching all these games. I think Chicago needed to beat Tampa, and there's this other game that the Eagles needed to slide in to get the last wild card. And all those things fucking happened. So by the time the Eagles hit the field, they knew it was win, and it was win and you're in, and they were in the playoffs. Yeah. So they just came out and just wrecked Dallas that day, like 44-6. And it was, when they put out a compilation of Eagles' greatest games that on DVD, like a DVD box set, that game was on there too. The Eagles beating Dallas in 80 was good too, but I was like 7 when that happened. But as far as a game I watched from start to beginning live as it happened, the 44-6 game.
Thank you for all your questions this week. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you being here. But Meanie,
yes,
you know what time it is, sir. It's time to wrap up the show for the day. We appreciate y'all being here. We appreciate you being with us. And Meanie, where can everyone keep up to date with all things blue when they're not listening to the program?
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky, at Blue Meanie BWO, wherever you do your social medias. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie. If you would like to support Mind of the Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. MadCatBeardCare.com. Get the Blue Spruce Beard Oil and Balm. Shout out to my buddy, my bro, Josh Thornton, doing an amazing job. A cat lover like myself, he rounds up all the cats in his area, takes them to the vet, and releases them better than he found them. So every cent you spend at MadCatBeardCare.com goes to take care of feral cats. So go check them out, support them, doing a great job. The Ultra Pro Wrestling video game coming to all major consoles in 2025. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters by the amazing Hal Haney, but many real-world wrestlers, including myself and many others. I'm trying not to spoil. Go to ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. That's ultraprowrestling.com or UPW Video Game. The figure collection's Bone Crushing Wrestler Series 1 variants of the Blue Meanie are available now. All Series 1s can be ordered right now at shop.figurecollections.com. That's shop.figurecollections.com. Go into the search bar, type Blue Meanie. You can get regular Blue Meanie or BWO Blue Meanie. Either way, there's no wrong choice. To have the Blue Meanie on your podcast, go to podstars.net. That's podstrz.net. Register your podcast, book the Blue Guy, and let's have a conversation over there at podstars.net. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Book through the site. Please don't book through the app. The app takes way too much of your hard-earned money. If you ever buy a Cameo from a talent, you do it through the app, that talent's not going to, a good chunk's getting taken out of it for whatever, Apple or whatever store or whatever. So if you want to support your talent, go to the website. So, let's go over there, cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO, and let's make somebody's day a lot more brighter. But most importantly, Mr. Bernard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. I want to quickly, before we get into the rest of our ad reads here, I want to give a shout out to Christine A for giving us a $10 super chat.
Thank
we
you.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. And you get the Carl button for that one.
Yo, asshole.
Wait, we're going to put that a little bit louder.
Yo, asshole. I don't fucking sound like that.
Yes, you do. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Christine. I appreciate it.
Supporting the show. And thank you, sir. I appreciate you for the for the tie-in there. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, well, no, I'm not on TikTok. I got to remove that from my ad reads, man. I don't know why it's still there because I don't use the fucking app. You can find me on Blue Sky at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. So go and find me there. You can also watch my other show, Foundation Radio, by going to foundationradio.net. foundationsradio.net. Lots of great stuff just from this past year. And Meanie, I'll have you know that I will, in fact, be at the 2025 Royal Rumble. They're repping Foundation
What
Radio.
number are you?
36, actually.
Okay.
I'm surprised because I know it was like a 30 thing, and then they're like, yeah, we're going to, we'll throw you in here at the end kind of thing. And I don't know. They won't tell me who, but, apparently it's going to be fun. But I digress. I will be there supporting Foundation Radio and the Takedown on SI, doing live coverage there. So more information as we get there. But go ahead and subscribe today at youtube.com/@Foundation Radio Pod. Shout out to the homies at the 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville on the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The homies Kane and Jordan are ready to make you look good in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ 2025. So go and schedule an appointment today at 10th Ward Barbershop.com. Don't forget to keep up to date with all of my news reporting and articles at the Takedown on SI. Just had a wonderful conversation with NXT superstar Oba Femi. Had a great question with him regarding TNA star AJ Francis that's making the rounds. Excuse me. So go ahead and check it out right now over at the Takedown on SI. ProWrestlingTees.com/Foundation Radio. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Pick up a shirt and keep the lights on at Casa de Meanie. The Barnard Home for Wayward and Troubled Youth. Don't forget to go to Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Sign up today. Tiers start at just $10. If you look about Meanie's head there, you can go to YouTube.com/@Mind of the Meanie. And follow us on our regular YouTube channel, and then follow us on all socials down here. I'm going to update that soon because we are, in fact, on Blue Sky as well, Blue Meanie.
Yes, sir.
We're staying up to date there as well. So we want to thank you all for being a part of this and being here with us each and every single week for the Blue Meanie. I am Adam Bernard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind of the Meanie. Peace.
Blue World Order.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. That's me. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is performed by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever, at Mind of the Meanie, and become part of the Pod Squad by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
That was Blue Meanie's brain out.